Americans will be charged and arrested very soon. That is what we are hearing. And no, this has nothing to do with a mass deportation event. This has nothing to do with illegal immigration or the crisis at the US-Mexico border. This has everything to do with retail, with our economy, and with the new upcoming president, Donald Trump. So I'll break down what's going on at this time. I'm going to read a comment from a police officer as well and explain their side and their position on this. But I'll break all this down in just a moment. But all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed these daily updates. And now let's begin. So for the past 4 years, we've seen a lot of theft. But we've seen no prosecution. We've seen no arrest. We haven't even seen retail stores trespass any of these people. But here's why I think this is interesting. The police are welcoming Donald Trump's return to the White House. That's what we know. They backed him. But what is this going to do? Well, I've heard a lot of reports on how Donald Trump's going to turn the economy around. It's going to just be a bull market. We're going to see everything return to normal. But according to one person, returning to normal is not necessarily a good thing in this particular instance. So I'm going to break that down in a moment, but I want to explain one thing. I was talking to a friend of mine just recently. He was saying for the past 4 years, theft has been increasing. He's actually had to shut several of his stores because of theft. He said police couldn't do anything about it, and they were being told, just let the thefts occur, then file an insurance claim to take care of all the losses, and everything will be good. You will be fine. But then we started to hear more and more reports from the insurance companies that they're going to have to increase the insurance premiums to cover the claims that they're having to pay out. Well, that's where stores took it upon themselves. Look at this. It says grocery store closing due to theft and safety concerns. It says the Natural Grocers at Colfax Avenue and Washington Street is closing on October 31st due to retail theft and safety issues. It says right here, persistent theft prompts Walgreens closure in Maryland's White Oak Shopping Center. Right here it says locked cabinets and reduced hours and store closures. Retail theft in New York City. What we've seen is everything is locked up. You go into a Walgreens, a CVS, a Rite Aid, you go into even a Walmart. In some cases, the store associates have to take out their phone, scan the little lock cabinet just so you can get in it. Yeah, that's how serious this has become. But this is why I'm showing this to you, because of this. It says more national retailers drop self-checkout to fight retail theft. It says as chains see increased shoplifting, they're looking for ways to fight back. Well, here's how they're going to fight back. Donald Trump is going to be the president as of January 20th, 2025, in 2 months. So guess what's happening now? They are preparing. Retailers are preparing for this change in leadership. But I want to read this to you. It says Trump is not going to stand by and allow thefts to continue. And in fact, he's going to demand more money for local law enforcement in exchange for them to do their jobs and arrest and charge more people. Now, what does all this have to do with self-checkout? Well, it's exactly what I've been warning you guys of for probably 2-3 years. Be careful, because in self-checkout, you can actually get burnt. Listen to this. So businesses have been closing down left and right. Obviously, that's a problem. But what is considered theft? Okay. Well, theft, or just petty theft, just to put it pretty bluntly, petty theft, I think in California is anything under $950. Here in the state of Washington, I think it's $750 and less. That's considered petty theft. Shoplifting is when you steal multiple items that exceed the limit. So in Washington State, $750, California, $950. Okay? Shoplifting has become a concern, but it's petty theft for the average citizen. This is what could be troubling. Listen to this right here. This is a comment I received the other day. This person wrote to me and says, and I quote, "Please share this with your audience," in bold letters. "When Trump enters office this next year, we are going to see things go back to normal on the police front, but with one issue: self-checkout. Self-checkout has become a constant battle with retailers and us, as we are always called to help arrest people for stealing goods from their stores. But we've been handcuffed ourselves and couldn't do a thing. That will change very soon when Donald Trump steps in. But I also want to give you and your audience this warning. Don't use self-checkout, as it doesn't matter how you steal an item, the stores will still want you charged and arrested. But if you do use self-checkout and you make it to your car and realize that you took something without paying, go back in and pay for it or return it immediately." Okay, I've told you this before. Don't use self-checkout, especially if you have a cart full of items, because all it takes is one item to be forgotten about, right? You forget to scan it. Maybe you pick two up out of the cart, you scan one item, and you put them both in the bag, right? That is stealing. It may be unintentional, but it's still stealing. This is where this warning's coming in. Don't use self-checkout, because in the past 3-4 years, we've been somewhat protected. But if Donald Trump comes in and says, you know what, I want the local law enforcement, I want the state police, I want all these, the law enforcement to have more funding to be able to do their job, to keep the American people safe, to protect our belongings, to keep retail safe, and to keep retail costs somewhat down. Well, if he says, I'm going to give you more money, but in exchange, you have to do your job. If somebody is stealing, you need to charge them. You need to arrest them, right? Well, just to give you an idea, I'm not going to go through every single state because, number one, you'd be bored, and I don't have time to do that. But I want to go through just Washington State, for example. Petty theft in Washington State is also known as theft in the third degree. Okay? It's the least serious theft crime. It is anything, if you steal anything less than $750, it's considered petty theft. Now, the penalty is up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Keep in mind, stores can also impose civil penalties on you as well, such as fines. So you could have to pay these fines for an item that you may have taken that you didn't even realize. Didn't even realize it was in your cart. Okay? Keep that in mind. Always check your cart. Now, I'm bringing this to your attention for a couple reasons. Number one, we are about to see more funding go to police. Okay? Under Donald Trump, we are about to see the police force actually increase. There will be more police officers, not less. That's a good thing, right? We'll be safer. We're going to bring prices down. But in the meantime, there is a kind of side effect of this. That yes, there will be more arrests. There will be more penalties and fines, right? You are going to have to pay if you make this mistake. But here's another thing. And one person says it goes even further. If you scan an item 2 times and forget a different item, that is considered theft. So let's say you have you go to Target and you buy donuts and shoes, and you have some, a bottle of Pepsi and you have some water. What if you scan the donuts twice and you forget to scan the shoes, and you scan the Pepsi and the water and you put it all in, pay for it, and off you go? Well, you scanned the donuts not just once, twice. How many times did you scan the pair of shoes? 0. That would be considered theft. Also, if you purposely scan a different barcode for a cheaper item and pass the more expensive item through, that is considered theft as well. So for instance, and we've seen this many times before, where people get like toys. Let's say they go and get a big Lego set and a small Lego set. Well, here's the thing. You take the 2 Lego sets and you scan, not the big one, you scan the small one twice. Guess what? Or you scan the small one, but you push the big one through. And that's like, I don't want this one too. I can't afford it. I'm going to put this one back. And you only pay for the big Lego set and not the small one. Okay? That's theft. Okay? This is people trying to trick the system. It's not a trick, it's stealing. And now, according to reports, that once Donald Trump steps in, there's going to be some changes. We are going to see the police get their job back, where now they can start arresting people, charging people. Whether it's petty theft, it's a felony. You're stealing 5 big TVs that are $2,000 a piece. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can still be arrested. Okay? Listen to this stat right here. It says 21% of self-checkout users reported to accidentally taking an item without paying and not returning. 21%, which means that 1 out of every 5 people have taken an item accidentally, which is considered stealing, and yet they knew about it when they got to their car or when they got home, but yet did not take the item back or go pay for it. Okay, I'm just going to leave this with you right there, but just understand right now, Americans could be charged and arrested very soon for something that is actually good by giving police more money so that they can go and do their job and to help bring retail theft down. Unfortunately, if we use self-checkout and we forget an item, that is considered stealing. So, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this? What do you think about this story? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.